So you can see the 2 props already that we added. I could actually despawn this, and if we choose 10 and spawn the prop, we'll get a different prop. So here the first 2 are the wagons. This one is the milk jug. Bandit Hideouts. What's up, everybody? This is Gunter Cervelo. Today I want to show you guys how I add props to existing hideouts and show you my process for doing that. So if we scroll down on the mod page here and go to change logs, we have version 133, which currently is the latest version of the mod. And if we look at some of the entries, you can see here that there are a lot of the same entries to different hideouts. It says added props to Chess Porter hideout, added props to Dodds Bluff hideout, etc. What exactly are props, you might ask? Props are those objects at a hideout that add ambience to that hideout. It makes it look lived in, makes it look like someone was there or is there. It adds ambience and kind of adds the immersion to the hideout. And props can be a campfire, a box, a wagon, tent, and different types of objects that just surround the area depending on the setup or the location of the hideout. I'll show you my exact process for adding props to existing hideouts, and I do that with Microsoft Visual Studio. So I'm going to click on this icon here on my taskbar and start up Microsoft Visual Studio. Now this starts up and comes to here, and basically right here what I have is 3 mods: the Bandit Hideouts mod, Hired Guns mod, and another mod I'm working on. So we'll click on the Bandit Hideouts mod, and this will take several seconds to load up. And once it's ready, it opens up. You see an icon down here that says ready, and it'll usually give a check mark like that. So just to give you an overview of what we're looking at here, you have the menu at the top of Visual Studio. There's a lot of stuff to it. On the right here, where it says Solution Explorer, this is basically an index of all the scripts that are in the mod. There's 132 scripts in total. Right here are all the pinned scripts that I use, that I access when working on hideouts or different aspects of the mod. So I keep these pinned because I'm in and out of them constantly. So instead of going here and opening up a script and doing whatever and then so forth, it's easier for me just to click on the tab and then just work on it. So starting with Gang Hideouts H, this script is where all the bandit hideouts and ambush points, this is where all the code is for them. There's a lot of other scripts that deal with hideouts and stuff, but this is essentially the script where you add all the important information. So let's start at the top of the script. A bunch of different information, but if we scroll down, here is a list of all the hideouts that I built and ambush points. There's 133 of them. Yeah, there's a whole mess of them. This was the last one that I built for version 133, which is Meteor Camp. And if we scroll down, I'm going to show you what the actual code of a hideout looks like. So here we have a template, which I don't use, and then here we have Meteor Camp, the hideout I built for version 133. So this right here, where I'm highlighting, is a hideout. This is one hideout. This is all the code for one hideout. This particular hideout took me almost 4 hours to build because of the props that I added. It was just because of the setup or the area that this hideout is in that it took so long. And of course you got to test it too. But so here you have the code name for the hideout, Meteor Camp. You have what gang will spawn there. This is for the in-game menu that I use for building hideouts, so it basically tells me what hideout I'm at when I look at it. This is the minimum and maximum and despawn distances that basically trigger the hideout to spawn in. Here you have reinforcement spawn points, where when you attack a hideout, reinforcements will come if you have those set. Here you have props, which we'll be going over today. So you have a lot of different props here. I spent a lot of time on the props on this one. So here you have a campfire, lantern, blue barrel, water barrel, short barrel, gas can, milk jug, brown wooden chair, bourbon box, tent, sleeping bag, lots of tents and sleeping bags, bedrolls, cart, wagons. And then down here you have guard positions. These are essentially the spawn points for all the bandits that will spawn. So this particular hideout has 20. This is what this is for. I just put that there to remind me how many there are. There are 20 bandit positions for bandits to spawn. And then you have patrol positions. These are so bandits will patrol around the area. And then you have the area, center, and radius. This is basically the center of the hideout. So the map blip that you see of the icon of the skull icon on the map, this is essentially what is the center of that. That map blip is the center of the hideout. This is the radius of the hideout. So when you walk into a hideout, the bandits will attack unless you have the other setting, and then you have some other settings for different features. And then this is the next hideout. For props, let's go over what we're going to do today. So I'm going to press Control F, and I'm going to search for a hideout that I want to add props to. So we're going to type in Van Horn Mansion, and as you can see at the right, it immediately goes to that name. So if I hit enter, it'll take me exactly to the code for this particular hideout. So yes, we are going to update and add some props to Van Horn hideout. So the props for this hideout are somewhat small. There's only a campfire and some lanterns at this particular hideout, so it'll be a good hideout to add some new props to. So I'm only going to do a few, but I'm going to go over quickly what scripts are pertain to props. So if we go to Hideouts H, we have these 3 scripts here that deal with props in terms of spawning them in. This basically tells the scripts that the props are to spawn in at this hideout. So if we go to Hideouts H is kind of like the main script that lists all the props, and there's a few props here that Crossed added, and the rest of them I added myself. So I added all these props to the mod. So when you see an entry in the changelog or added more props to the code to add to hideouts, that's basically what I'm doing. Is I'm adding a new prop. Now adding a new prop is essentially going up to an object in the game, aiming my gun at it while I have my in-game menu up for building hideouts, and it gives me a number. So the last prop I added was the straw bale. That's basically what I named it. So what I do is I aim my gun at the prop and it will give me a number. And from there I take a screenshot, and then I give that screenshot a name. And then what I do is I'll add the name here. So all these are made up names that I added that I can recognize. I add the number, I save the script, and then I go here to this list, which is for the camp creator. That's basically the in-game menu that I use for building hideouts and adding props to them. And you can see the same thing here is straw bale. Now in the menu there is a numbered list, and each number represents that prop. So in the menu, if I choose number 1, then I can spawn a lantern, and I could spawn it real time. So this is the last one I added, and I have all these on a sheet of paper on my desktop, so I have kind of a quick reference. This script here enables these props from these 2 scripts to spawn. This is what spawns them. So you can see here void spawn hideout props, and then you have this code here. Each one of these is an individual code for individual props. So if I scroll down, go to the straw bale, which is this one. This is the last one I added. Straw bale. I add the name here, and then I add a name here, and then the code does the rest, and it basically spawns in the props for the hideout for whatever which one I chose. So we're going to go to Gang Hideouts, and we're going to work with this section here. So we're going to go in Game. I'm going to show you how this all works. Alright, here we are in Game. And there is Van Horn Mansion. So we go to the map. You can see we're by Van Horn Trading Post. And Van Horn Mansion is here. And if I go to the menu that I use for building hideouts, it'll come up and you can see at the bottom here it says Van Horn Mansion. So basically what we need to do is we need to go to this hideout. By the way, I'm using a snow mod, so that's why it's kind of snowing right now. So we're going to go to this hideout. I set for 2 bandits to be at this hideout, so we're going to pull up to this tree here. And we need to clear out the bandits. So there's going, like I said, there's only going to be 2 bandits, just so I could get to the props and stuff right away. So I'm going to put my mask on. Yeah, there's a bandit right there. There's a bandit right here. I don't know where the other one's at. Okay, that's one bandit down. That was a chick. Didn't get nothing from her. There's the other one. Nice. Alright, so we cleared the hideout. You can see the thing disappeared. Huh? Must be a body over here. Get our axe. Shoot the body. Alright. So here we are at Van Horn Mansion. And most of the props, like here's a prop right here, a lantern. And then we have props in the back that I added a while back, like a campfire. This is all that I added back here. Back when I built this hideout. So I just want to show you real quick. I bring up my menu. And if I take out my gun and I aim it at this prop, you're going to see where it says log models on the menu here. It says log and you got a number. If I aim my gun at the campfire, it gives me a number. And that number is what the prop is. So what I do is I'll take a screenshot of exactly this if I wanted to add a campfire to the list, which I already have. And then I'll just add the entry for the campfire for that, and that's how that works. That's how I get props. I could actually do some other props here just to give you an idea. Like for this one, you can see a difference in the number there. So if I wanted this particular prop to add to hideouts, I could do that. I already have this one actually. Another prop I could probably use would be this whole thing. Actually, it's individual ones. I could add this big crate. Or add this little crate. You know, stuff like that. You can add this barrel. I might even do that. So I'll press print screen to grab the prop. And when I go to add the prop, that just tells me what this prop is. All right, let's set up some props, and we're going to go to the front here, and we're going to actually put down a wagon. I'm only going to put a few props here, and then I'll come back and just kind of add more to it. So we're going to put a wagon here. And for wagons, what I like to do is I like to bring up the menu, and this is what right here is what I choose to spawn props. Right now it's at 0, which is essentially Campfire, and we want a wagon. So let's see, we're going to put a covered wagon, which would be number 9 on my list. So I just hit my arrow keys and I go to number 9, and then I go to log PLCar plus H, which means it logs a coordinate plus the heading of that coordinate. This also does... Yeah, it's because I killed a couple of the bandits, but I go to PLCar H if I'm logging coordinates that have a certain direction to them. So what we need to do is, let's see, I will place... This is what takes the longest with adding props to hideouts, is where to put them. So I think I'll put a wagon right about here. So I'll bring up my menu. I'll set it to log PL card plus H. I'll hit enter, and you can see at the bottom there, the second line from the bottom, how it turned to 0. That means the coordinate was logged. What I do from there, now that the coordinate is logged, I go down to spawn prop, I close my menu, I walk away because I'm going to spawn the prop. I open up the menu again, and then hit spawn prop, and that spawns the wagon. This is the wagon I chose. Now that the coordinate is there, until I change the coordinate again, that prop will be the prop that I use. It's temporary, but that's basically what is going to actually be there. And sometimes I have to do this several times based on the terrain that's on, because sometimes the props don't want to sit right. This one did, so it works out well. I could actually despawn this, and if we choose 10 and spawn the prop, we'll get a different prop. If I despawn that, go to 11, we'll get that prop. If I despawn that, go to 12 and spawn that, we'll get that. We could probably use this one. This one looks pretty good. Alright, so we'll go with that one. And this is a prop that I got from Annisburg. So we could use that. I'm going to put another prop over here. Let's see. Put a wagon right here. So I gotta set the heading, and I'm gonna put an old wagon, which would be 11, and we'll spawn that prop. That'll put that there. So you kind of have to look at the area that it's in. You know, we could go there, but I think I'm gonna move it. So I'll despawn it, go back to the coordinates, and then I'll go right about here, move a little bit forward. Yeah, test me then, buddy. Go to the menu again, hit the prop, and then we'll move here out of the way, spawn the prop, and that's a little better. Alright, we'll close the menu. So that's 2 props so far, and we already have a lantern here. You could see the entry for the lantern. Actually, we need to be a little bit closer. Yeah, that's the entry for the lantern. Let's see, let's go inside. We could spawn a prop inside. There's already a lot of stuff in here. 4 props. like that lantern right there, I didn't add that. That was already there. There's already props in here. There's really no reason to add anything in here. I could do a milk jug. Maybe we'll put one here. So let's see. The milk jug is number 2 on the list. So we'll go here. And for this one, I use log PL card, which is just one coordinate without a heading. So I'll log the coordinate, and then I'll go to the prop. Number 2 was the milk jug, so I gotta go to number 2. I close the menu, I'll walk away, hit the menu again, and I'll spawn the prop, and then you get a milk jug. It's kind of fitting for this, I mean, considering that's a kitchen right there, so that'll be good for there. I could add some more stuff, but let's go outside. Damn, the snow's coming down hard. Alright, so the prop we're going to do is going to be the leather tent. So that's going to be number 26 on the list. It's number 26. And I go to log PL card because this has to have a certain direction. For tents, I have to literally look backwards for the tent to spawn with its opening behind me, so it's facing the house. So I'm going to spawn the tent here. So I go to the menu, hit enter to log the coordinate, close that, and then we go open the menu, spawn the prop, and we get a tent. So that's the tent. Probably put another one right here. Go right about here. We'll do the same thing. And then close that. Spawn the prop. So now we got 2 tents. And I'll put sleeping bags in them. I use the same coordinate for the sleeping bags. Alright, so before we add any more, let's go back to the script and add these props. Alright, back in the script, gang hideout script. Now we go to where the props are. And since these are already existing entries, what I like to do is copy one of them. And I usually like to make a space. I'll add a couple of them. I use existing entries as templates for new props. I have to go to the Red Dead directory, which is here, and anytime I log something, the logging creates a log file for me called Bandit Hideouts Log, and I'll open that up with Notepad. And as you can see here, it gives me a bunch of coordinates. So each one of these coordinates, so you have a timestamp, and it'll be coordinates plus H. That's the log PL card plus H, which is the heading. And then we have another one for the milk jug. That's this one, and it just logs that one. PL coordinates. So what I do, these are just timestamps. It gives you the time and the date that you stamped them. But I usually just do a few at a time. That way I know what I logged. Now the second one we did, we change. So I just removed that. So here the first 2 are the wagons. This one is the milk jug. The third one here is the milk jug. And then you have the 2 tents. These are 2 wagons. So what I'll do here is I'll highlight this. I'll press W for wagon. There we go. So we look at a wagon, and we put a wagon that was number 13, I think it was. Wagon flat. We're going to just put wagon covered, which is this one. And then that adds that one. This one was wagon old. So I hit W, it brings up the list. And I choose what prop I want. That adds that one. I'll put a comma here. I'll copy these 2 entries. And I'll go down here, paste those for the 2 tents. And then I'll go up here for milk jug. And then I'll press M for here. add the milk jug, and then I go to the coordinate for the milk jug, and I'll copy this one and just put it right here. You can see that updates the number, changes the number. And then for the two wagons, so we have the wagon that was covered, which is this guy. Actually, I need to do the whole thing like that. And then we'll do the second one. And that adds that. Then we have the two leather tents. So for those, I just type in T, capital T. It brings up the list. And we got a leather tent, so I just double click that. That adds the tent. So we have two tents. And go T again. That adds the leather tent here. And what I like to do here is I'll just add those coordinates right away. And that adds the tents. Now, I usually add a sleeping bag for each one of these tents. So what I like to do is I'll copy the entries again, then I'll paste them, and then I'll type in S, and you'll get the list for sleeping bag. I'll put a sleeping bag under each one. Now for the sleeping bag uses the same coordinate as the tent, so I copied the tent coordinate and paste it in its own. Same for this one. B, and we'll just inch these up a little, and we'll add another. We're going to add one more prop, and this will be, starts with a B, a bourbon box. And then we'll add another one. This will be B, and this will be a brown wooden chair. So we're going to go back in game and get the coordinates for these two props right here. Alright, for now we'll just save that. We close this so more entries can be added. And we're going to go back in game, grab those two coordinates for those props. Alright, back in game. So we are going to add a bourbon box. We're going to go over by the campfire here. And we'll add a bourbon box. I'll put it, let's see, right about here. So I go to my menu, go to log PL card. I'll log the coordinates, go down to here. The bourbon box was number 5 on the list, so we've got to go down to 5. And we'll close the menu, walk away, and then we'll spawn the prop. And as you can see, it's a bourbon box of bourbon. And then we will add a chair, brown wooden chair. So I'm going to put the chair right about here, and I have to stand backwards for this one. So same thing, I log the position I want, then I go to the prop. The brown wooden chair was number 27. I should have done that one first. It's alright. And then I move out of the way. And I spawn the prop, and now you got a brown wooden chair. Just like that. For bandits, if you want to see how bandits are done, let's see. Where could we put a bandit? Just put a bandit at the campfire. Let's put them right here. Worry about here. For bandits, I go to up here where it says log guard position. and I choose which type of bandit I want. So this bandit, when he spawns, he's going to be sitting or standing at the campfire doing something. So make sure I'm not too close. And then I'll hit log, and then I'll walk away. Then I'll open my menu again, and that's what spawns the bandit. You can see they'll be doing something. Alright guys, let's go back into the script and add those. Alright, back in the script. Now what we do is we acquire the log. So we added a new spawn position for a bandit. So we'll add that. Just copy that whole thing, and then what I do is I go down here, I just put a comma here and just add him to the list, remove the comma for the end, and then I just added this number here. There's 13 total. Now there's 14 bandits that will spawn at this hideout. We'll save that part, and then we'll go to the two props, the bourbon box and the brown wooden chair. So we have the brown wooden chair and the bourbon box. So let's do the bourbon box first, and just copy that. And then the brown wooden chair. Bring that up like that. Take the comma out. That's basically it. So then we'll save it. What we do now, so just to see those props at the hideout, we build the mod. So I go to build here, and it says build bandit hideouts, and I'll click on that. And what this does is it compiles everything that I added into a new ASI file. So what I'll do is I'll actually quit the game. Usually I unload my mods. This is going to take a few minutes to do because it's got to compile everything. It's got to add everything to the code. And then once it's done, it creates a new ASI file. So I quit the game, and what I do is I delete the log file, because if I know if I'm going to be adding more props or working on more stuff, then I delete the log file, so it's kind of clean. It's easier to read. Go to this folder, and in this folder the ASI file will be produced. So just gotta wait for this, and when it's done I'll let you know and go in the game and test it out. Alright, here we are at the end. When it says generating code, it's producing the ASI file, and it says finished generating code, and then build one succeeded. If it failed, then it wouldn't build the ASI, but it succeeded because we did everything correct. So what that produces is I go to test build, it creates the ASI. This is actually the ASI that you guys get when I post an update. So what I do with that is I go into my directory, I delete the old ASI and the DAT file and the cleared hideouts DAT, because it's updated code. You don't want any conflicts. I add the new ASI, I delete that. I'm not going to do any more, but so I added bandits to default on the INI, and I just closed the output. That returns back to the script. So we're going to go back in game and clear this hideout, and you can see all the props that we added. Alright, back in the game. Here we are, Van Horn Mansion, and this will have all the default bandits. So you can see the first wagon already. Bandits already roaming around. You can see the bourbon box over there in the chair, and the new bandit that we put next to the campfire. Alright, let's go clear this out. I'm gonna go in guns blazing with this one.
Easy.
Got everything ready just to make sure. Alright, here we go.
Too damn close. Son of a bitch.
You can see the 2 props already that we added.
You're gonna die, son.
And the 2 tents here.
I'll watch you bleed out.
Here we have the bourbon box and the chair. We got bandits, horses.
Let's get closer in.
Let's go indoors. They're gonna come down that stairs. Oh, by the way, there's the milk jug.
Get on in there after him. Rather have your scalp as my reward, asshole.
Come on, boys.
Get inside and drag him out.
I'm waiting. Here they come.
Gonna make buzzer feed out of you.
We on all sides. Ain't no escaping. One good shot, I'll bleed you out.
You regretting this yet?
Get him out. I got you a one-way ticket to hell.
One way to reduce their numbers. Come on. All gun-ho and shit.
I'm gonna watch your bastard ass cut down. Time we dropped you for good.
The bodies. We did it. Damn. Look at the blood. Point blank range. Alright guys, hope you liked that. So you can see our wagon here. Just where we placed it. The other wagon. And then these tents, you can kind of see it. They have a sleeping bag in them, which I added. I don't know why they're covered with snow, but whatever. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
Bastard, you're a dead man.
Yeah, I'm such a dead guy.
You're finished.
Well, that's what you get for shooting at me. What do you want? Alright guys, we'll catch you in the next video.